Well, that was 30 years ago. So everything that I've learned and everything I know started on that day one when I met Craig, working as part of his real estate team, and especially involved in the lead conversion part of his system. And fast forward 30 years later, and it is what I exclusively focus on is I work with agents and teams, training them to convert their leads into appointments and into clients. So, which turns out that right now in our industry, it's number one. I mean, you can get leads anywhere. Leads, there are 24 different companies right now that you could buy leads from. They provide you with leads. They are not money in the bank though. You need to reach the lead. You need to communicate with the lead. You need to convert the lead to an appointment. You need to convert the appointment into a client. You need to sell that client something or sell their home. Like, in order to make money, a lot of things need to happen. And it turns out that that process, when it's plugged in and put in place, night and day. I mean, you can make millions of dollars in this industry in commission. If you don't have that in place, you can have all the leads in the world. You're just not going to make any money. So it has been my focus in training over the last many years, training some of the biggest teams, their inside sales agents, to be successful with the very leads that they're generating. You know, it's funny, Alex, two agents can generate leads from the same source. One says, these leads are no good, you know, these leads are a waste of time. And the other agent with the very same lead source is making $1 million a year in commission income from the very same leads that the other agent says are no good. And it just goes to show it's the process. What you do with the leads in 2024 is what makes all the difference. And for most agents, what they are doing with the leads they have is massively insufficient. And it is the root of their struggle. And yep. I aim one agent at a time to fix it. So that's what we're here today. That's exactly what we're here today to do. And I actually do a master class with my partner, Lester Cox, called agentleadtoclose.com. And it is what it says, agent lead to close, and everything that you need to have in place in order to make that happen. Yeah, so it's been a 30-year journey, but it's been very gratifying to say the least, Alex. And you know, meeting you and been promoting your stuff for years before even meeting you is really cool too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So I'll just quickly say hello to everybody. I'm Alex Camilio, CEO for the Agent Inner Circle, now owner of the Agent Inner Circle and Service for Life. I've worked in the industry for 15 plus years, doing a whole bunch of innovative stuff, building different companies, all that fun stuff. And I've spoken at a bunch of different conferences in different states on technology, on marketing, on improving your business, on all of those sorts of things. So I'm very, very lucky today to get to interview and talk to James a little bit about some of the strategies he's worked with over the years. So one thing I noticed that you mentioned there is that what we're talking about are proven techniques, right? It's not stuff that's like we've theorized about or we've, you know, those sorts of things. So if you would, do you mind sharing? I'll ask the question here and then I'll just take us over to the interview screen. But what are the top 3 proven sales strategies that you've seen over the years that, you know, get results better than all of the others?
All right. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest is this. Nobody would argue, I'm going to guess, that there are too few real estate agents in our industry. If only there were more of them, boy, that would be really helpful. Said no one ever. There are a lot of real estate agents. It's easy to become a realtor. There are way too many of them. So it's critical that we be able to set ourselves apart. So the number one most important strategy, we'll call it a sales strategy, is you need to be able to articulate a unique reason why someone should do business with you. Even someone you already know. Just because I know you doesn't mean I'm going to use you. But you need to have a solid reason. And this reason needs to be unique and beneficial. Okay, so the reason can't be, I work really hard for my clients. The reason is that's not unique. You won't find too many agents that say, I don't work very hard. I play a lot of golf, but don't call me. I'm not going to work very hard. All agents say they're going to work hard. I give great service. I care, etc.
Yep. That'd be a funny billboard. I bet that one would stand out. You put a billboard up that's like, I don't do any work for my clients.
Yeah, I don't really care. You should go with someone who works hard. No, so what we're referring to here is called a unique selling proposition. A unique selling proposition is something that you can articulate to a would-be client, a prospect, which gives them a reason why they would want to work exclusively with you. Because without that, what you're really saying is, we're all the same. There are way too many of us. We're everywhere. You could yell out the window, realtor wanted, and just within earshot, you'd have 5 different realtors banging on your door. Realtors are not hard to come by. So what we need is to give them a reason. Here's why you would choose me among all of the other options that you have available to you. Here's a reason why. And just having a reason, let alone multiple reasons, but having a reason is more than what 95% of your competitors would have. They wouldn't have a reason. There would be no unique reason. 95% of the agents, if I were to ask them, which means 95% of you, if I said, why should I choose to do business with you instead of anyone else in the marketplace? You would either have no reason, or the reason you would give me wouldn't be unique. It wouldn't be any different than anyone else, right? I'm not saying this to criticize you, I'm saying this is just a reality. It's something to consider. So having said that, let me give you some specifics here. The way that we create a unique selling proposition is we break it up into a couple of different categories. How could I answer that question effectively? Alex is considering selling his home, or Alex is considering buying a home, and I would love to help him. I would love to represent Alex in that purchase and or sale, but Alex doesn't know me. So I need to give Alex a reason why, a beneficial and unique reason why Alex would want to choose me. So I'm going to choose from one of 3 categories. One, I am going to develop what are called performance guarantees. And a performance guarantee means what it suggests. I'm going to guarantee Alex an outcome with a consequence attached to it. Like I might say something like this. Hey, Alex, I'm so confident in my marketing strategy to get your home sold for the most amount of money that if I haven't got your home sold and with an acceptable offer within 30 days of you listing your home with me, then at closing, I will pay you $5,000 from my commission. Okay. That's an example. Now, there are dozens of performance guarantees that we could make, dozens of them. Right? I guarantee that I'm going to get you asking price for your property. And if I don't get you asking price, I'll make up the difference out of my commission. So for ease of numbers, you're selling your house for $500,000. We get an offer for $490,000. I have to kick in 10 grand out of my commission to get it up to 500. I'm willing to do that. I am so confident in my marketing strategy that I'm going to get you asking price for your property, or I'll make up the difference. You mentioned, Alex, you spoke with several other realtors. Did they offer any kind of guarantee like that? What's the answer?
Of course not.
They guarantee no outcome. Okay. So look, I'm not saying you use one of these 2 examples. What I'm suggesting is there are dozens and dozens of different guarantees that we can make. You could find one, I assure you, you could find one in your marketplace that makes sense for you. And the one guarantee that you have would be better than the no guarantees that your competitors offer. Can we agree on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Okay, so that's one example. So one platform of unique selling proposition is a performance guarantee. Another would be what we call a service unique selling proposition. That means you offer some kind of unique service that other agents don't. Hey, Alex, you mentioned that you were looking for a property. Would it be valuable if I could get you access to off-market unlisted properties that are not currently for sale to the open public, and I could find you only homes that match exactly what you and your family were looking for, but weren't listed and available to the general public? I could do that for free with no obligation to buy any. Would that be helpful?
There it is.
Okay.
Unique.
Would that be unique? Alex, you said that you spoke to several other agents that you've met at open houses. Did any of them offer to find you properties that are not listed for sale to the open public?
No,
What's the answer?
Me. Yeah, most agents don't.
That's called a no. So yeah. That's an example of a service. Now, you might be asking, well, how do you do that? Well, yes, we have a proprietary target marketing system that once we know where you're looking and what you're looking for, we use our target marketing. We send out a letter system on your behalf to all of the homeowners in those areas that are not currently for sale. And we find you homeowners who'd be willing to sell their home to you and only you. How does it work? It works very, very effectively. You're not obligated to buy any of these homes. Doesn't cost you any money. But let's get back to, why am I offering this? Because I understand that there are realtors everywhere, and any consumer could use any agent other than me. If I don't give you a solid and specific beneficial reason why you should use me and me alone, I know what's going to happen. You're going to use someone else.
Yeah.
So that's an example of a service unique selling proposition. And once again, folks, there are dozens of them. I'm giving you an example. And then the final platform is what we call a statistical USP. That's where you're able to say, Alex, my marketing system works so effectively for the sellers that I represent that right now, currently, the real estate board average list to sales price ratio is 97%. What that means is sellers like you end up getting about 97% of what they ask for when they sell their property. That's the average. So some agents are even less than 97%, some are more. My sellers, over the same period of time, they're averaging 101.2% what they get versus the list price, what we're asking for the property. So my marketing is so effective that we get multiple offers, and it actually drives the price up over asking price. Statistically, that puts in your pocket anywhere on the low end between $6,000 and on the high end $15,000 right in your pocket, just for selecting an agent that has a better marketing strategy. Would that be important to you, Alex?
Of course.
So statistics can show that I produce an outcome that, when you compare it to the average MLS statistics, is superior.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Again, guys, what I'm sharing with you right now, I assure you, 95% of the agents in your marketplace don't even know this exists, let alone are doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't even know what they don't know.
I was just going to say, I saw somebody that got very creative with the statistical bit where, and this was very cute how they did it. So they created a Facebook page that they then promoted, did advertising, did all that kind of stuff for, to get the most likes on that page for themselves in whatever state. Then what they could do is, in their marketing, call themselves the most liked realtor, the most liked real estate agent, because it was statistically, they were liked more than any other page, any other group, any other whatever. And they started using that in their marketing as being the most liked.
Well, the way that I would parlay that into so the way that you parlay that into a result is by saying these likes are buyers for your home. Who
Yes.
do you think has the buyers are more likely to call? The agent with 0 likes who no one knows exists? Or if you list your home with me and I put your home up on my page and my page
Mhm.
receives the most audience eyeballs of any other agent in the marketplace statistically, who do you think the buyers are more likely to call on your property? The
Right.
secret agent that no one knows about, or the agent that has the most visible, measurable through likes and page
Yep.
engagements in the marketplace, right?
Exactly.
So it's not just saying I'm the most liked. It's, and here's why that directly
Oh,
benefits
absolutely.
you,
Yep.
right?
When the reason
That's
I
the
mention
line.
that is over the years, there are in areas where you're like, oh, I know that one other agent is doing that MLS data, right? Or they're doing that one thing, and you're trying to figure out what that unique thing is that might be different from your one top competitor or your one top person that you might be trying to take on in the market. You can get interesting with the statistical stuff that you use and switch it up a little bit, right? Make it unique to yourself and your own branding, marketing, and how you do business.
Here's really the bottom line and the common sense with all of this is, look, if you're a buyer or a seller, what would be most important to you? Getting the most amount of money for your home, selling it in the shortest period of time, with the least amount of hassle and hiccups, right? That's what really at the end of the day would be most important, especially getting the most amount of money for your home and getting it sold in a reasonable period of time. If everything that you're doing points towards getting them that, you're winning.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Yep.
that's what is important to them. So any unique selling proposition points in the direction of, if I list with you, I'm going to sell my home for more money and I'm probably going to sell it more quickly without
Yep.
the hassle that I might, deals falling out of escrow, whatever it is. You're winning. You're going to convert more business that you otherwise wouldn't have converted,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all of this is really, really vital. And to your next topic here of objections, what ends up happening when you're very skilled at articulating your unique selling propositions is that you're preemptively handling objections. Like, that's the
Yep.
interesting thing is we handle an objection before it becomes an objection because we kind of already know what the objection is going to be. And really,
Yep.
the overarching objection that every consumer has is, why should I choose to do business with you when I could do business with anyone else instead of you?
Yep.
Every objection is really disguised under that umbrella. That's really what it is. So
Yeah.
if we already know that's what they're thinking, then why don't we just make that part of our brand, where I don't care if you're
Mm-hmm.
a solo agent and you're selling a couple of homes a year right now. We make that part of our brand where we're able to immediately articulate why you should do business with us. It might be a guarantee of some kind. It might be a service of some kind, statistical data,
Mm-hmm.
something that immediately points to, this is why you should use me instead of anyone else. This is the benefit. And that alone handles most of the objections that you would get, interestingly.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're totally right. Setting expectations at the beginning, I think, for any business, and especially real estate, is a huge component to it. But let me ask. So there are some times where folks do get to
Oh, sure.
objections. What are some of the biggest objections that you see recurrent, right? That agents have to
Yep.
handle consistently?
Okay, so I'm going to go into my training about objections here. I've been doing a long time, and that is because I spent years and years and years as part of Craig Proctor's team, handling and hearing every single one of these objections, converting leads. And the first thing I got to say, and this is a little out of the box thinking, a lot of times an objection is an observation, not an objection. The prospect makes an observation that we take to be an objection. I'll give you an example, Alex. I'm calling you. Oh, hi, Alex. It's James with ABC Realty. I was just calling you in regards to your request for the information on property at 123 Maple Street. And you say, oh, I wasn't expecting a realtor to call me. I just thought you were sending the information. And I'm like, oh no, oh God.
Yep.
Oh God,
Yep.
he scolded me for calling him. But when you really stop and think about it, okay, Alex just said to me, I wasn't expecting a realtor to call me. I thought you would just send me the information. Did Alex say, I don't like you and don't want you calling me? How dare you? Or was he really,
Right.
in the English language, observing that my brain wasn't expecting a call from a realtor? Right? So right away, if I take that as Alex is rude and objecting to me and he's telling me to buzz off, then, oh God, how do I? But if I look at it from the other side of like, no, Alex just made an observation. He wasn't expecting a realtor to call, yet here I am. If you take it like that and you address it like that, all of a sudden it comes off a lot less confrontational. You're not battling them. I'm able to say, oh yeah, Alex, I was calling you as a courtesy just to let you know that the information that you were looking for, I'm actually putting it together right now and you should receive it in your email inbox here shortly. I hope that's cool.
Awesome.
What would you say? Like right away, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Probably something along the lines of thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah, for
I just
sure.
turned you from, what some agent might say is, oh, they were really confrontational with me. They didn't want me calling them. Alex never said I didn't want you calling me.
Yeah.
He made an observation. So let's start off with this. A lot of the times, a prospect will make an observation and we confuse that observation or immediately leap to that observation is they're objecting to me. And it's not true. Now, here's another reality with objections is if the prospect voices an objection, whether it's over the phone, face-to-face, whatever, really what they're saying is this. I would like you to further elaborate and explain what you're saying because I don't get it or I don't agree with it. It's an opportunity for you to further elaborate and explain, which is a good thing, right? And if you know what you're talking about, it's an opportunity to look smart. See, when you get an objection and you don't know how to handle it, what do you charge for commission? Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, we're really shopping on price. What do you charge for commission?
Right.
Okay. If I ask you that as the prospect, am I not giving you an opportunity to further elaborate on your services and your fees? I'm giving you that opportunity to do that. And if you know what you're talking about, I'm giving you an opportunity to look really smart, really competent, really confident. I'm giving you the opportunity to look like the expert that you are. But to the agent that is ill-prepared, that treats that as an objection, as a confrontation, they're going to handle that all wrong. So it's funny, I don't want to talk about commission right now. I mean, you don't even know what I do. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. Wrong. No, it's an opportunity for us to look really smart. Right.
So it's interesting because I was going to say you kind of got there to some extent already, but I was going to ask kind of a follow-up question. And I think in a big sense, you already covered it, but I want to kind of pin this down for folks. So a lot of times it feels like people interpreting something as an objection or taking it personally, like we're talking about, comes from a place of insecurity. And a lot of times that's because people are not prepared, haven't taken the time to practice with somebody over doing this, to listen to those questions with somebody over and over again and say, well, what are they really saying here? And so on. What are your suggestions on that? On we can all say check your insecurities at the door, but like the practicing bit, what are any suggestions on sort of overcoming those insecurities through practice?
Yeah, it's amazing how they go away when you know what to say. It's kind of funny. Here, you'll remember this from when you were in school. If you didn't do your homework and the teacher's calling on you, you're going to get picked. You're going to get picked. It's every damn time. It's like, I'm going to get picked. And when I did do my homework, I look like the cat that swallowed the canary. I'm all perky, never going to get picked. It's like That's they funny. Know. They know. It's like, yeah. Well, this is sort of the same thing here. When you are massively fully prepared for any objection that comes along, they tend to come along less frequently. When you have no clue and you're like, oh God, please don't ask me about commission, for example. Oh God, I don't know. Sure enough, you're going to get it every time. It's kind of like how that works. But you know what? In our industry, Alex, we are the pros. We hear the same objections over and over and over again. How many are there? 6, 8, maybe? We should have it so down cold that I'm welcoming the objection. I can't wait for the opportunity to look really smart. Alex, I'm really glad you asked me about commission. The way that I do it, in fact, is I let you choose the commission you want to pay based on the services that you would want and need for your home. So once I get a chance to look at your home and you and I can assess what would be the most important things to market your property, you get to actually choose the commission at that time that best fits, kind of like a menu option, if you will. Does that sound like a good idea, Alex?
Of course, yeah.
And that's exactly what we do. We have a menu of services. They can choose a bronze, silver, or gold commission package. They offer different things, and you get to pick. You get to pick what you want, right? And I know this, the lowest you're going to pay is 5.5%, and the most you're going to pay is 7%. And you get to pick. And maybe I'll even offer you the silver. I'll offer you the gold services for the silver package. But I am able to immediately handle over the phone the question about commission. No problem. You know why? I've heard it 1,050 times. So I know that when I say, oh, I'm glad you asked about that. Actually, the way that we do it is we let you choose the commission you want to pay based on the services that you feel would be most valuable to get your home sold. So once we have a chance to look at your property and you and I discuss what would be most valuable in terms of services to get your home sold for the most amount of money, you get to choose and thus choose the commission that you want to pay based on those services. Does that sound like a good idea, a good way of doing it?
Yep.
No one has ever said no. Of course, it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And what it suggests is, and the only way we can do that is I need to see your home. So I'm flexible. When have you got some time so I can come by and take a look? Do you have some time later today, or would tomorrow or Saturday be more convenient?
Perfect.
Now, here's what they're going to be left with. Wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. Wow, this guy didn't bat an eye. He didn't stutter. Just immediately had an extremely logical answer for my question about commission. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yep.
Let me ask you, do consumers want to do business with professionals who are confident and competent?
Of course.
When it comes to their most valuable asset in their lives?
Yep.
Yeah. Are they looking to get into a fight with you over the phone about commission? No.
No.
Right? But at the same time, if we give them a commission over the phone without seeing their property, that would be like a doctor making a prescription without seeing the patient. So that would be unethical for us. So we got to have a way to handle this. I am suggesting that in our masterclass that Lester and I do, Agent Lead to Close, every single one of these objections, there is an extremely competent, logical answer that once you get it down cold, you're begging them, please give me the objection. I want to hear, I want it, I want it. Right?
Yep.
It's just, all it does is make you look really smart.
Absolutely. I mean, those objections so many times can be turned into a positive for you, and something that furthers the sale along
100%
if you handled correctly. In fact, it's funny because you always think about that with the test, like you were talking about, right? We were just talking about that test for a second in school.
Yeah.
Well, think about it from your consumers, from your client's side. they might want to test you a little bit too. I mean, you go
100%.
to go to check out a new car, right? You go and you kick the tires. You go and you take it out for a test drive and you say, okay, I want to learn more about this and understand if it's going to work, right? And know what I'm doing before I get any further. It's very similar in this, where people want to know that you're competent at what you're doing, that you can answer their questions, that if they throw you a curveball or a little test, that you're going to be able to handle it. So think about that in terms of those tests might
You
be
know,
a-okay for them to do.
you just brought up or sparked a really good a common objection that I'm sure the folks on here have had before, which is you said think about it. Yeah, you know what? Let us think about it before we sign anything. Let us think
Yep.
about it. Ever heard that before? Let us
Oh
think
yeah.
about it, right? And where do you go with that, right? I mean, where do you go without looking confrontational? How do we
Yep.
handle this in a logical way? Well, there's a solution to that. What if we were able to say, you know, if you think about this and you come to the conclusion, say tomorrow, that, yeah, you know what, I gave a good presentation here. You know, you're confident that I can do a great job for you. You're going to go forward and you're going to allow me the opportunity to represent you and get the job done for you. But then you discover, once I've actually started working on your behalf, I'm not all that I've been cracked up to be. When will you really know that I'm the best agent to represent you? You know, I get it. This is just the reality. Until I start actually helping you, you really don't know if you've made a mistake in hiring the right agent or not. So I've got a better proposal for you folks. I want to share with you what I offer to all the clients I represent. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's called a cancellation guarantee. And the
Love
way
it.
it works here in writing is, what it states is that if at any time, for any reason, you don't feel I'm doing the job that you anticipated, then you can cancel our agreement at any time without penalty or consequence. What this states in writing is that I can't just do a great job to get your business. I need to do a great job every day to keep your business. And if I don't, then you can and you should end our agreement and go and use a different agent. Now,
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the reason I offer this to all of my clients is because I know what you don't yet know, which is I am going to do an amazing job for you and you're not going to cancel our agreement, but I don't want you to just go to bed tonight and think about it. I want you to be able to go to bed every night with the peace of mind of knowing that if my team does not perform for you every day, then you're not stuck with the wrong realtor. Now, you did mention, Alex, that you had spoken to several other realtors before me. Did they offer you a cancellation in case they don't do the job that they suggested? What's the answer?
That's it. What's interesting is we went right back to number one, which was the guarantee USP, right? Is circle back.
It's another example. Another example of a guarantee.
Yep,
absolutely. Guys, there is no objection that any buyer or seller, whether over the phone, face to face, is ever going to give you that we haven't already heard thousands of times. We should look at all of them as opportunities to say, oh, I'm about to blow their heads off with this one. Watch how I handle this. And they're left jaw drop going, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds way better. Right?
Absolutely.
So I just turned we want to think about it tonight into, that sounds completely fair. Where do we sign?
Yep.
Like, here's the cancellation agreement.
Money in your pocket right there is what that is.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Because here's what I do know. If I leave them to think about it, all of the benefits that I've just shared with them, they don't compound and get stronger over time. They dilute and get weaker. And I know that if I don't give them a better alternative than thinking about it, I need to give them a better alternative. I can't fight them on, no, you don't need to think about it. What I need to do is I need to give them a better alternative to that. If I can do that, that allows them to take action right now, I'm going to have way more business in my pocket. I'm going to procure a lot more buyers signed a contract, sellers signed to listings. But you know what? It's amazing how many realtors do not invest in them in themselves learning the skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's skill
Yep.
development. And our
Yep.
skill are the words that
Absolutely.
come out of our mouth. And I'm amazed at how many realtors they don't work on this skill, and then when they're
True.
faced with this, that's why they have to do business with friends and family only, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, the objection, like, why should I list with you? It's like, because I'm your son. Mom, come on, seriously? But the problem with that is you're going to do 2 or 3 deals a year because you just don't know that many people that are buying and selling.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always starving.
Yep.
We need to generate business from people we don't know. We need to generate business from referrals from our clients and friends and family, from people that we don't know, and they're going to want to know why they should use us. They're going to have objections. They're going to have apprehension. That's why our skill development is critical to look
Yep.
really, really smart, competent, and confident. And I'll tell you how this increases revenue. If you can get face to face with more prospects and you've got a presentation that demonstrates your unique reasons to do business with you on the buyer and the seller side, you're going to sell a lot more real estate. Because other agents can have leads, but they're not going to get face to face with them. And when they do, it's like there is no presentation. There's no, it's called wing it. It's called, I'm going to try to get them to like me, because if they like me, maybe they'll use me. Something I want you to think about in that regard. Okay, and this is a bit of a word twist. If the prospect doesn't like you, they're probably not going to do business with you. That's true. But just because the prospect likes you doesn't mean they're going to do business with you.
Yep.
Right? See, there's a little play there. If they don't like you, if you're unlikable, very little chance they're going to do business with you. They're out. But if they really, really like you, does that mean they're going to do business with you? No, not necessarily.
Nope.
It's a step in the right direction. Well, how about this? Are there more than one likable realtor?
Of course.
As a matter of fact, the general makeup of the realtor population are extremely likable people. They're extremely likable. The person that's attracted to real estate is the high-eye, gregarious, fun, people-oriented personality type where, we're super friendly. We're great. We're very likable. So lots of us are likable. If the way we get business is by being likable, we're going to have a lot of competition. So being likable is one thing, but having these skills, having these unique selling propositions, having these strategies in place, that's what makes our already likable selves get to the next level. And you don't need to invent it. You need to learn it, learn these skills, and it's never too late. I like to say, one of my credos, and I've learned a lot from Craig and from some other great mentors that I've had over the years, but one of them, I tell you, man, it's got to be one of the best mantras to live by. It's never too late to do the right thing. Never too late to do the right thing. Oh, I've been doing real estate for 10 years. Yeah, okay. Then you're 100% satisfied with the results that you're getting, right? Well, no. Well, good, because it's never too late to do the right thing. Where do you need some help? Well, I could be better at handling objections. My skill in booking appointments with prospects is not where it should be. My presentation, I'm resting on my laurels. The presentation I have is old. It's basically me leaning on my personality and my 10 years experience. Like, it's never too late to say, okay, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna pick these areas where there are some weaknesses and get better. Never too late to do that. But it's shocking how many realtors never come to that conclusion that that's what they need to do.
It's totally true. I remember years, and I was a little kid, and my mom said it to me, that whole mantra of like, oh, I've always done it this way. And she's like, if you had directions on how to get to a place and realized you were driving the wrong direction, would you just keep driving that direction because you'd been driving that distance for however long?
Right.
And you're like,
Right.
no, I'd turn around and go the right way, right? It's the same
Right.
sort of thing. Like there's no logic
Right.
behind
And
just
and
sticking to.
you wish that you had done it sooner, but
Yeah.
you didn't. So now is the time to turn around, right? That's the
Yep.
point of it's never too late to do the right thing. It's like, well, I've already gone this far. Okay, so what you're saying is you wish you knew to turn around earlier, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Now you do. What are you going to do now?
Exactly.
You're not going to keep going.
Yep.
You're going to turn around. And that's perfectly good. Now, here's another one as well. And that is you teach people how to treat you in all elements of your life, your family, your friends, people you meet, and especially in your real estate business, you teach your prospects and clients how they perceive you and they will treat you accordingly. So it is critical that we have massive skills in communication so that immediately our first communication with anyone, any prospect, any referral, our clients, it's so critical that we are positioned as the expert, as the confident, competent professional, because they are far more likely to listen to your advice. They're far more likely to pay you what you're worth, and it is far more likely to lead to the outcome you're looking for if they see you as the professional and treat you accordingly. But if it's your buddy from high school that you're working with, they're always going to treat you like their buddy from high school. You are not the real estate expert in the marketplace to them. To them, you are James, the goof that sat in the back row in geography class in 10th grade. And that's who you are perceived as for them. And they will treat you accordingly. We have a massive opportunity with marketing to work with people we don't know, to work with referral business. And we get to dictate who we are. We get to teach them right away that we are the highly skilled professional. And everything outcome is better as a result of that. So I would leave you guys with that. And, you know, your business is only as good as the time you put into making it better, working on it. Working on your business to make it better versus only working in your business, it just stays the same, right? And that's why I applaud all of you for participating in our session here today, because it's putting, setting aside some time in your day to, pick up an idea that you might not have known before. It's like we always say, if I get one good idea, and it's very true, if there's one thing that it can move the ball forward better than before. And now you have that forever and ever. Education is so worth it. It's just so worth it. It is the game. And, believe me, your competitors, you'd be shocked. The overwhelming majority engage in zero learning, zero education, zero training. It's just not what they do. So if you're the one that does it and they're the ones that don't, you're going to come out well ahead of the game. And it's a lifelong proposition.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that being said, first let me ask, did folks get some stuff out of today? Let me know in chat if there were, like James said, a few tips and tricks that you picked up. And I have some good news for everyone, which is that James is going to be returning next week, and we're going to be doing more of a series on the skills that you can and need in the real estate industry to both survive and thrive as things come on. So next week we're going to be doing 5 big secrets that millionaire agents know that the average agent doesn't. Do you want to give a little preview, a little teaser for him, James?
Yeah, 100% of millionaire agents took the real estate course, got their real estate license, and started with 0 transactions, just like every other agent. All of them. They started with 0 transactions, and now they're millionaire agents. They make over $1 million in gross commission income, and in some instances, $5-10 million in gross commission income. And I've worked with many of them before. But never lose sight of that. Here's what happened. They learned what they didn't know. They didn't collect ideas. They implemented those ideas. The question is, where did they get those ideas and what are they and how did they implement them when so many other agents didn't? What is it that they implement and why? So this is a combination of both specifics in terms of what are they doing, but it's also a question of human nature and mindset. What is it that stops us from doing what we know would be good for us? An apple a day would keep the doctor away. It really would. But you know what? I don't remember the last time I had an apple. It would be so easy. I know it. I don't do it. Why? So there are all kinds of things like that. So, but we're going to get into this. I'm going to make a lot of sense of this. And again, have this attitude. If I get one thing that I can do that's better than before, it was worth it. Because that one thing, you're not doing it once. You're going to do it over and over and over for the rest of your life in real estate. And it could be worth tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to your bottom line for your business. So I'll definitely look forward to doing that with you, Alex.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, James. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody else for joining today. It has been a great time, and I've certainly learned something, so I hope everybody else has today. Thank you again, James. This has been awesome. We're going to close it down today unless there are any questions that we have here. I don't see any at the moment, but
let me propose this. Let me propose this. If any of you have any questions about anything that we talked about here, email me. James@agentlead2close.com. James@agentlead2close.com. Shoot me an email and I'll answer that. And if it's a really good question, then I'll read it and address it next week on our session with Alex then as well. How's that sound?
That is perfect. I love it. And the other option is I posted a link to our Agent Inner Circle Facebook group. James and Lester are in there as well as myself, as well as a whole bunch of other amazing agents, realtors, association, you name it. There's folks in there. Yep. So check out that group, post your questions there as well. And we will we'll get you some answers. So all right. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And on that note,